Hi, nostalgic home cooks. Today I'm in the kitchen making a make-ahead breakfast strata. Layers of hearty bread, rich eggs, and smoky Canadian bacon. Layered together, creating a cozy, cheesy casserole that's perfect for busy mornings or holiday brunches. Simply assemble this recipe the night before and let the flavors develop overnight. Then all you need to do is bake it in the morning for a special occasion breakfast. This is the ultimate easy breakfast casserole that's hearty and delicious. So let's get into the kitchen. This is how I make a Canadian bacon breakfast strata. I'm starting this recipe the night before I need to serve it. I've already greased a rectangular casserole dish and I'm going to line the bottom with slices of crusty bread. The type of bread used to make this Canadian bacon breakfast strata is important. This isn't the time when you want to throw just any grocery store sandwich bread in there. The key to a perfect breakfast strata is making sure you have a relatively dry bread. The bread needs to be able to soak up all the liquid from the egg custard, so actually day-old bread that has started to dry out is the perfect choice. And since I love not wasting any food, this is one of my favorite ways to use up any bread that has started to go stale. And since the bread makes up the bulk of this recipe, you can really change up the flavor by swapping it out with different types and flavors of bread. Crusty sourdough and French baguettes like I'm using here are always the classic choice to make this casserole. If you have other bread on hand that started to dry out like croissants, brioche, cheese bread, brown bread, pumpernickel, and rye, these are all going to add a beautiful depth of flavor and texture to this classic recipe. I'm going to top this layer of bread with slices of peameal or Canadian bacon. On top of the meat, I'm going to sprinkle 200 grams of grated cheddar cheese. And finally, I'm going to top this with the final layer of bread. This layer should completely cover the top of the casserole. Now for my rich egg custard. Grab a large bowl that you can easily pour from. I'm using a large measuring cup, but really to make it easier to whisk, I should have chosen something a little bigger. To the bowl, crack in 8 eggs. I try to crack the eggs in a separate bowl first, just in case there's anything wrong with one of the eggs, or if I've dropped some shell, it's easier to fish it out. To the eggs, add in 3 cups of milk and season with salt and pepper. I'm also going to add in 1 teaspoon of dry mustard powder and a half a teaspoon of dried chili flakes. You can of course omit this if you prefer no spice to your casserole. Whisk this mixture together until everything is very well incorporated. I can then gently and evenly pour this mixture over the top of the entire casserole. Make sure to soak each of the slices of bread as you're pouring. Now I'm going to cover the casserole and store it in the fridge to soak up all of the liquid overnight. In the morning, I'm going to add 2 cups of corn flakes to the top of the casserole. I just like to crunch them up a little bit with my hand as I'm sprinkling them on top of the dish. I find that the smaller crumbles of cereal make a nicer crust. Then drizzle the whole thing with a 1/4 cup of melted butter. This is going to give us a rich and buttery golden brown crust in the end. Now all I need to do is bake in a preheated 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius oven for 1 hour, or until set and the crust is toasty and golden. Remove from the oven and allow this rich and hearty breakfast to rest 10 minutes before serving. This recipe is great because all of the work is done the night before. That way, on a busy morning, all you need to do is cook the casserole and serve. Which makes this the perfect breakfast for a special occasion, and it feeds a crowd. This recipe is also so easy to customize. You can easily swap out for different meat and bread. Add in some vegetables or make a sweet version of this recipe. The sweet version is dusted with cinnamon sugar and served with fresh fruit. You can check out my recipe for French toast casserole along with this one in the description box below. Enjoy! If you're a fan of deliciously simple vintage recipes and old-fashioned skills, then you'll want to check out this next video. Thanks for stopping by.